Hi everybody, it's me again, your host Waylin. You may think that the pandemic is all doom and gloom, but there are green shoots of hope and hope in unexpected places. Let me show you what I mean. So a few weeks back, Malaysia passed its budget and the states also subsequently passed their own budgets. Johor, my home state, tabled its state budget 26 November. The main takeaways were, for me, the interesting ones were as such. Agricultural transformation in Johor will have a big impact on farmers' quality of life. This was a topic also highlighted in my conversation with Twitter user Shakib Sharil. Shakib, um, I'm doing a little bit of a deep dive in this topic because I think it's really interesting. So 51 million ringgit will be allocated for the agricultural transformation, including programs for food supply guarantee. Couple of farmer, Muhammad Daud Tamin, seemed pretty happy to reduce the burden on him. It's been raining heavily, and his wife has been unable to continue her business at school canteen. So I think the 51 million ringgit will go towards supporting the farmers. But I think what both Shakib and myself would like to see is actually the more development, taking advantage of technology and allowing agriculture in Johor to take a big leap forward. And now is actually the perfect time. Let me tell you why. First, agricultural land in Malaysia, and you can see here it is the World Bank data, has been increasing. The percent of the land area, for agricultural use has been steadily increasing through the years. And yeah, in the past few years, in fact, it's been going faster and faster. And that's terrific. Actually, we have a lot of land in Malaysia, and it should be used, to the best that it can. Now, even though we use so much land, Malaysia actually has a big deficit in many many kinds of agricultural produce. We import dairy products. Here, this is the U.S. Trade portal, where it shows that Malaysia imports 1.3 billion US dollars worth of dairy, 485 million dollars worth of beef, 331 million dollars worth of wheat and wheat flour, 226 million dollars of fruits, 176 million of tree nuts, 141 million of potatoes, even 61 million of pork, 313 million of soybeans, and 521 million of soybean meal. So Malaysia imports a lot of agricultural produce, despite terrific weather and ample land. So maybe that's something that can change. Now, Malaysia's largest agricultural product is in fact palm oil, and palm oil has been having a tough time of late. So since 2011, the reputation of palm oil, the palm oil industry, the environmental impact has been in the toilet. It's been terrible, and one of the world's leading newspapers on for the social justice crowd is the Guardian. And Guardian, even in 2011, was talking about Malaysian palm oil destroying forests. Study claims that palm oil related deforestation is higher than previously thought. So absolutely terrible. And the EU has in fact been looking for ways to find substitutes for palm oil as a way not to support the trade in palm oil, which is wrought such damage, or at least that's their point of view. And the U.S. Trade Office also reports additional palm land for palm oil production is unavailable. Any increase in national production at this point would have to come from yield and productivity increases. And that's actually a good thing. So here we are in 2020. This is the situation. Malaysia is turning to food crops as palm oil prices falls. It's from the Straits Times in Singapore, reporting in 2019, September 2019. So with the face of fluctuating commodity prices and Western countries' hostility towards palm oil since 2011, as shown in The Guardian, Malaysia is, of course, looking to diversify, and that's an excellent thing. Our Minister for Agriculture, Salahuddin Ayub, already says, okay, there are plans to plant more food crops, including in oil palm plantations between the rows of the oil palm, and that's an excellent idea. Absolutely no argument against that. And the palm oil industry is also, not taking it easy. Reuters reports that as a result of the pandemic, palm oil industry is having to pivot and rely more on Malaysians. They're embarking on a rare recruitment drive to hire locals and accelerate mechanization. And nobody's more in favor of that than I am. I think that's a terrific move, even though it is forced on the industry. I think it is a step in the right direction. It is necessary now, but I think it's also good for the long term. If we can find the right, balance between the cost of hiring local as well as, the skills involved in operating the machinery, to take a big technological step forward, there's no reason why we can't actually come out ahead and have a lower cost of production per ton, right? So that would be terrific if that can be done. The Malay Mail, so here's what I think is really interesting, signifying that we are kind of on the cusp of a change that I think is really important for palm oil. So see here, palm oil boycott, which is ongoing in parts of the EU, leads to use of more land for less efficient vegetable oils, which is exactly true because palm oil is known for being very efficient in terms of the usage of land. Like 1 hectare of land for palm oil produces a lot more oil than if you produce comparable oils. I think coconut oil is an alternative and it's just simply not as efficient. You can't get as much oil out of each hectare. So even today, Malaysia is actually, we have done some pretty good work, if I say so myself, in producing more sustainable palm oil. So there is right now a certification called the Roundtable on Sustainable Palm Oil, which is voluntary, right? And caters to big corporate producers. So companies can sign up and they'll get the label, and it's an industry group. So I guess, they wouldn't be so strict about enforcement, or, they wouldn't hold people to the highest standards because, it's kind of voluntary, right? But Malaysia actually now has the Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil Certification Standard, world's first national government-mandated palm oil certification scheme, enforceable by law because, of course, it is the government-mandated certification scheme. So this is very good. Now, you may say, okay, but why would the government want to have the stricter standards? Because they can just take it easy so that the local producers would benefit, right? And if the big companies are Malaysian, of course they would do so. Yes, one can certainly make that argument, and I think that would be totally reasonable. However, it also is the case that, with the certification scheme that is backed by the Malaysian government, any governmental pressure coming from, say, the United States or the European Union also is more effective, right? If customer countries say, hey, Malaysia, I would like you to adhere to these standards. Well, it is much easier for those governments to say, I'm going to put pressure on this trade partner of mine and say, would you please hold to these standards? And they have the ability to do it because there's a scheme in place for that. Of course, if you wanted to put that same pressure on a voluntary industry group like the RSPO, which I mentioned just a moment ago, that might actually turn out to be more difficult because you don't have a government, that has all these other things they trade, all these other concerns, for citizens that they care about. You don't have as many levers to pull or buttons to push that you can get the result that you want. So it's clearly a good thing. So all in all, it looks like palm oil is going in the right direction. Palm oil companies are going to hire more Malaysians, and I think unquestionably a good thing. Improve their usage of technology, which I think also would be good for Malaysian companies, provided that we have the entrepreneurs to take advantage of that. And speaking of which, that not only applies to palm oil, I think it also applies to agriculture. And let me show you what I mean. I found two local companies in Malaysia that actually are doing, technological solutions for farming. Check this out. I had no idea. I have no relationship to this company. I just happened to come across them online. You can use drones for crop monitoring. That's amazing. Okay, let me try to resize this window so you can see the text more clearly. Yes, check out that magic. Okay. So crop monitoring can be done, planting and spraying, water and soil analysis. You can equip it with 3D mapping equipment. That sounds really cool. And I think that's what we call LiDAR. It's the same technology that you use, Google uses for their Google Street View tool. And also, archaeologists use it to map beneath the foliage of the canopy of rainforest. So if you have ruins underneath the canopy of the trees, you can use LiDAR in a plane flying overhead, and you'll be able to get past the canopy and map the stone floor, the buildings, the walls of the archaeological site. So I didn't know that this is available, and this is wonderful. This is really, really good. I don't know what the cost of it might be, but it looks like the company is actually live, doing business, and yeah, available for farmers. So that's one. Again, I have no relationship with these companies. There's also cityfarm.my, and this is pretty cool. Founded by 4 engineers. What they offer is products and courses for people to start urban eco farming. You can get all kinds of equipment that you can put at home. You have like these LED grow lights, kits and systems. Here we go. City balcony farm. That looks really cool. Let's click on it and have a look. For what's this, 343 ringgit, you can have a table, a big box that you can do your farming. I grant you that, it's not going to be a attractive addition to your living room, but it is pretty cool. Oh, for 400. Okay, with shipping. Right. And you can grow, I guess the healthiest vegetables in town. I would love to have like a spice rack where I can grow rosemary, basil, uh, maybe thyme, all kinds of fancy herbs that normally cost a lot of money. I think that'd be terrific. Or even a Malaysian bentong ginger. That'd be terrific, but I don't know if that's available. But this is really cool, and I think I would love to see more of it. I don't know if people can get a grant for this. If the Johor budget, extends it this far, it would be very nice if it did. I don't know. But let's just take a quick look also at, what actually do agricultural robots look like. So we've heard a lot about robotics, but I didn't know that the variety of robotics in use, for agriculture is so large. It's so diverse. Obviously, these look European or North American. I don't even know what they would look like for Malaysian crops, because I think all these robots look like they are specific, customized to the different crop types that they are serving. I mean, for instance, you can't get this robot here, the robot arm, to harvest like durian. That's not gonna happen. I mean, durian, we need it to fall down, right? So, oh, and this is really cool. This is called the hamster bot. I think this is really nice. It can roll over cropland without harming them, and inside the balls are a range of sensors. I think, yeah, that makes total sense. And I think it will be really nice. It can detect what soil composition, information about it at least, like maybe, yeah, temperature, moisture. Excellent. And of course, drones. which we've already seen, so I will not go over that again. So it looks like there are the future is bright, even though this year has been a terrible year for everybody. But I think there's reason to be optimistic, cautiously optimistic. Looks like palm oil may be turning a corner, and it will, rather. So I think that this has gone largely unnoticed that palm oil companies, even though they are Malaysian, they are largely, to me at least, very separate from the rest of Malaysia. It's staffed largely by foreign workers, and we don't see much of it. I don't know if they employ even that many Malaysians. We know that, from harvesting to everything, they require a lot of labor, and it's been known that they hire a lot of foreign labor, such that they have come in the past come under a little bit of trouble for allegations of forced labor, which when you use labor from imported from countries far away, I think that kind of inevitably crops up even through simple miscommunication. But if you use a lot of local labor, I think people can communicate super clearly and expectations are clear and nobody will tolerate any kind of abuse. So I think this is a good thing that the palm oil companies are having to turn more to local labor again. Maybe you make use of more technology, which it would be great if local providers can provide. And I would love to see agriculture become more high tech in a sense. I think that while we see a lot of tech startups, mushrooming all over the country and even the region, everybody, we all know our Grab and Gojek, but we don't know of any companies that do anything whatsoever for agriculture, even though, for all countries in Southeast Asia, agriculture is a big thing. Okay, except maybe Brunei and Singapore, but those are, they're very unique cases. So yeah, I would love to see more happen here. And I don't know how I can help that out, but if any companies would like to find out more about digital marketing, I'll be happy to talk to them. Okay, that's a totally separate issue. I hope that, this has been educational and, once more informative for you. Thank you for listening. You've been a terrific audience. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.